Hello, MainKiller02. I just want to let you know I've had one beer, so if I sound a little weird, because I don't drink much and it's really snowy outside, so I'm not going back out. But if I sound bad or something, just mention it in the video, and I will apologize for being an a-hole. Okay, I put a link over on the right for the thing you said at 2 minutes 10 seconds. It's the Bart Ehrman lecture where he talks about his book Misquoting Jesus. Uh, like the things that he says, I took some notes. I've took notes about half of it. That's a lot of stuff that has been taken out of the Bible, or I don't know if it's been put back in, but talks about a lot of stuff, like a part where they called Joseph Jesus' father, and they said, oh well, isn't God his father? So they took that out. Then somebody asked Jesus when the end will come. He said, no man on the earth, no angel in the sky, not even the Son, only the Father knows when the end will come. And that kind of goes to show, like, hey, if they're the same, yeah, shouldn't they know? Shouldn't he know, everything? 301, that kind of 3 minutes 1 second. So you're talking about the Revelations thing. It's not really just that one part. I don't really have. Let me just tell you right now, I don't really keep all my thoughts together. I make a lot of little notes in my head, and they just kind of come out. So, but these pieces are just pieces of a puzzle that I put together in my head. Okay, 5 minutes 50 seconds. You're talking about the original thing was talking about Jonas and the whale and how they said it was anti-science. I think we went off into this little tangent when you asked me for what I would take for proof of the resurrection. I believe that's it, but and yeah, I agree with you. That's not really anti-scientific. It's just unscientific. 3 minutes 35 seconds. It was an Egyptian god, Ptah, the god of craftsmen. Not Mesopotamian. I am anal retentive, so just forgive me for that. And then you said they probably want to make a god that was all powerful, that he could just speak things into existence. And I was thinking about it. And I said, wouldn't an all-powerful God just be able to will stuff into existence? He wouldn't have to say anything, or he could just, he would just automatically appear before he. I mean, I hope you get my drift where I'm trying to come at. 4 minutes 30 seconds. I've went over your video like 3 times, so I have notes at like different parts. I apologize. If you want me to, I'll send my little like notes to you, so you can get a little better grasp. At 4 minutes 30 seconds, you're talking about the Mesopotamian, the Enuma Elish. Yes, it does have the 6 stages, and yeah, that's not too much parallel, but it was also written in a poetic language as Genesis, and a couple people have noted that I've listened to or read about, saying that the abyss in the Genesis account is a corrupted form of Tiamat in the old Hebrew form, and I have that down somewhere where what it says. I believe I put a link to it in the old video, or in the last video. And then the flood stories. Yeah, the Zeus, the Hesiod's works and days. That's true. There's not really too much, but then there's also but then I did forget to bring out or forget to mention the Mesopotamian flood stories, where I'll have to find more of links, but just let me read this real quick. In this story, Enlil was in charge of the minor gods who were digging the Tigris and Euphrates rivers. When they complained about the work and revolted. The gods decided to create mankind to do work instead. The Nintern, the goddess of birth, mixed some clay with blood and created man. Made man out of, the dirt, or, out of the stuff of the earth. Sorry, that's completely, uh, doesn't count. But the goddess gave birth, but when the population of men grew too large, the noise that made kept Enlil awake at night, and he asked the gods to send a plague to thin out mankind. A wise man, Atrahasis, whose name literally means exceedingly wise, got wind of this divine plan and consulted Enki, the Sumerian water god. Which is pretty much the god, whatever, the Enlil. He doesn't like the noise, so he sends the drought and the plague, or the plague and then the drought. And then after that, he sends a great flood. And then, okay, finally, Enlil decided to send a great flood, and this time Enki advised Atrahasis to build a boat, take his family and animals on board. All mankind was destroyed, except Atrahasis and his family, who survived and repopulated the earth. I mean, there's kind of stuff that parallels, where you can see how it went from Mesopotamia to Greece, and then, finally to the biblical scholars. And just to to mention King Ziusudra, there was something about this in the story, in the Penn and Teller bullshit episode about the Bible. There was an actual flood, like you were mentioning, where it was a local flood, and we have archaeological evidence about it, and I'll put a link over on the side so you can just read about it, and I don't have to waste much more of your time. If I can, I can't really keep my thoughts all together and all that, but if I can, I'll try writing them down now. So, thanks for listening. I appreciate you taking your time to, debating me. And then later.